Thank you, Richard. I know you've been waiting here very patiently to hear the Minister, Claire Perry, speaking this morning. Sorry to report that the Minister was unwell this morning and won't be able to join us here at the Rushlight event today. And I know also that she'd be very sorry that she's missed the opportunity to be here today to really support innovative excellence and celebrate UK entrepreneurs. However, Nicola and I are going to steal the opportunity of this short speaking slot to set out some of the points that the Minister would have highlighted. First of all, a couple of introductions. I'm Sally Fenton. I'm Head of Smart Energy Innovation at BEIS, and my colleague is Nicola Lazenby, and she is our cross-cutting innovation lead. So, just some overview and context to start with. We started the morning today with a presentation from Rob Saunders, setting out some of the issues that have been taken forwards under the Industrial Strategy Challenge Fund. So just to highlight again, the Industrial Strategy published by government towards the end of 2017. We have four foundations within the pillars within the Industrial Strategy. I'd say probably, I think all of them very relevant to those of us in the room working on innovation and smart energy innovation, on energy innovation in particular. So the Clean Growth Challenge, directly relevant to our energy innovation and to all of us here today. AI and the use of big data, increasingly essential to our energy system. Mobility, a lot of the technologies being looked at are starting to have an influence and to learn from what's going on in the mobility sector, in particular the growth of clean mobility, both in the vehicle sector, but also looking further afield into our other transport sectors. And ageing society. A lot of the activity that we're working on, particularly within the built environment and in housing, will be particularly important to comfort and to quality of life for all of us, and particularly for those perhaps who are more vulnerable in our society. So, what we do within the innovation programme, which is led by BEIS, is not only to directly provide funding and support to companies and entrepreneurs, research organisations and academics to help take forward innovation and research and development projects. But we're also at the same time bringing in information from those projects that helps to inform our own policies and our policy development. So within the Science and Innovation for Climate and Change Directorate that both Nicola and I work in, we have three strands in terms of this evidence that we're pulling in through our innovation and science work. We have the more direct science, understanding the climate change activity and all the underpinning science that helps us to understand how we're progressing towards our our carbon emission reductions and towards the 1.5 degrees scenarios. We have an engineering team in the group that provides detailed engineering support, looking at new technologies that's coming along, helping to understand the costs and the performance of new technologies, helping to see how they will fit into our energy system. And we have an innovation delivery team that is out there working with yourselves as entrepreneurs, helping to understand where support is needed in the energy system, helping to focus our support in the ways to make it most cost effective and to contribute most usefully to the industrial strategy aims. So, the BEIS Energy Innovation Programme is part of the overall UK innovation landscape. As I mentioned, and as Rob set out, we've already heard about some of the other activities that UKRI are leading on in terms of providing innovation support. Within BEIS, we have our own Energy Innovation Programme, which has a total total budget of just over £500 million. And that is spread across a range of different innovative technologies. So we have innovation taking place in nuclear, to drive down costs. And also a really key area there is in terms of building up skills and bringing in new people who can help to provide the skills for nuclear in the future. We have programs supporting renewables, again driving down the costs, and we've already seen costs come tumbling down, in particular in offshore wind. And the program here is helping really to keep on targeting and focusing on that cost reduction. We have a program that's focused on industry and looking at the costs of energy use and energy users within the industrial sector, and looking at low carbon options for them to help ensure that they have the energy they need, but also to help to contribute to reductions in carbon emissions. We have a built environment program, and that is looking particularly at energy efficiency, both for domestic and non-domestic users, and also something that I think we're going to hear increasingly about and which will cut across a lot of activities, is thinking about how we can decarbonise in the heating sector, one of our biggest areas that we have still to tackle. And at the end is the smart systems area, an area which I lead, and there we're looking at how we can scale up the flexibility that can be brought into the energy system in the electricity system, but also looking more broadly at how we can look at having flexibility that uses of energy use across the different energy sectors. So perhaps looking at how we can look at energy use and energy demand and optimizing energy use across power and heat and transport. And also in that sector, a lot of innovation support and work going on at energy storage, thinking how storage can help to provide some really key flexibility and the flexibility that we need to bring in those intermittent renewables and to increase the level of renewable penetration. Cross-cutting, rightly so, goes across all those areas of technology and even more broadly. So we have a £50 million cross-cutting programme that's supporting disruptive innovation, particularly focused on UK SMEs, and also including innovative finance and incubation support. It's one of a real key feature of our cross-cutting programme is the additional support that we provide to help make sure that the businesses themselves are growing. So while they are developing their technologies, support is provided to help them to take those technologies out into the marketplace in the UK and more broadly internationally. So there's a couple of specific areas that I wanted to highlight, and Nicola will also be covering. And on the Smart Energy Innovation Programme today, the Minister was going to be able to provide an update, and the deployment of smart, flexible technologies, as I've mentioned, is really key to make sure that we have secure and affordable and sustainable, so keeping an eye on all those points of the trilemma. Those secure, affordable, sustainable energy system both now and also looking forward to the changes that we're going to need, as I say, as we move to decarbonisation of heat, to further decarbonisation in our transport system. How is that going to need to be supported by changes in our power system and the interaction between the different energy vectors? So today we will be announcing, and the details were, I think, already available online, more than 30 successful smart energy projects who together will be receiving over £10 million of innovation support from the BEIS Energy Innovation Programme. And I'm really pleased that quite a lot of those innovators are here today in the hall next door. So, for example, we have ITM Power, we have Highview Power, we have Grid Duck, we have Cumulus, just a very short selection. I suspect there are others there, so apologies if I haven't listed you. But there are many projects here today and also information on the website about, so there's more than 30, so a real range of different projects taking place on the smart energy front, from energy storage cost reduction, looking at some really potentially large-scale energy storage technologies, through to projects that are focusing on domestic demand-side response, how you and I, as householders and consumers of energy in the home, might be working with companies might be our energy suppliers, it might be other third parties, to be able to use our energy flexibly to help support the energy system as a whole, and also to provide benefit to us in terms of reduced costs and ensuring that we have the comfort and the energy that we want in our homes. We also have projects being announced online today, which are focusing on flexibility markets, so understanding how we could monetize flexibility, so whether that's coming from energy storage owned by individual users, whether it's that flexibility is coming from smart heating in the home, from whether it's coming from electric vehicles, which are increasingly going to play a part as part of the broader energy system, we think. So please do take a moment, if you can, to have a look on side. We'll give the web address in a moment, and to walk around the room and meet those entrepreneurs who have received funding through the programme. And we have a stand in the room next door, the BEIS stand, so if you want to find out more about our Smart Energy Innovation programmes, do please come and talk to me. I'll be there for this morning, and there'll be further information online. Now I'm going to hand over to Nicola, who has our really exciting announcement.
Okay, thanks, Sally. So I would start by naming some of the Energy Entrepreneur Fund successful applicants, but I think I'd be on for a while. We've actually funded over 100 EEF projects to date. So can I ask anyone in the room who's received one of those grants just to pop your hand up? So as you can see, there's a fair amount that's already here, and I know there's quite a lot of them that's got exhibitions in the gallery, so do take your time to go and visit them and find out more about what they did and how they've been supported by BEIS. Looking over some of the key facts here, we've raised over 100 million in private sector funding, we've created over 300 jobs, and we've filed 125 patents. So it's quite good that these inventors have taken it all the way through with the incubation support provided and driven it into nearer commercial product. The big news is that there's been a commitment to fund in EEF Phase 7. The details of that are on the website now, so there's £10 million getting put into that programme. And this will be starting with a launch event on the 4th of July. So you can check all that out on the website and come and see me in the exhibition space. So if you want to find out more, these are the list of contact details. Feel free to take a photo of the page. And get in touch if you've got any ideas or views, and we'll be out in the exhibition space. There we are.